Live from the Pacific Northwest, it's time to bring the curtain down on the Season 20 SFL seasons for the Los Angeles Lycans and the Seattle Nemesis as they both play their final games on APF and in Season 20 tonight. Live from Darkwood Stadium in Seattle, Washington. Hello everybody, and a good late evening to you on the East Coast. My name is Michael Trillo. Happy to have your company. Happy once again to have the company of Nate Hall. Nate, it's a long old night for us up here in the broadcast booth, but we're looking forward to seeing some great football as these two teams lay it on the line one last time this season.
Yeah, both of these teams coming in this evening at a 3-8 pace coming into this game this evening. However, trying to get that fourth win tonight to end their seasons respectively on a high note. Who's going to get it this evening? Second meeting between these two teams. Last meeting was back in week 4 that Seattle won on the road by 3 points. Let's find out. Despite these two teams' mediocre offenses, both of these two defenses are one of the most top-notch here in the SFL. Let's see how this one shakes out here tonight.
Seattle's passing defense is the best. Pass yards against, number 1 with only 251 against per game. Seattle also top 5 with 262. The Nemesis will get the ball first at home in the Nemisphere. As we get set to go for the final time in Season 20 for the Lycans and the Nemesis. Gus Scott returns for Seattle. He brings it up to the 22-yard line. And that'll be where the Nemesis get the ball first. Trellis Blanton is the quarterback. Baloo Scott, the running back. Matt Brown, the fullback. Zachary Patton, David Gears, T. DeQueen, and Gus Scott, the wide receivers. Paulie Truth and Dean Jackson are the tight ends. It's all black with that neon green and purple accent color for the Nemesis here tonight at hand. The ball off to Baloo Scott, and she gets 1 yard. Here's the Los Angeles defense. Bogan Spearoff, Ace Blackwell, Robert Thump, and Gary Marks on the defensive line. Tazzy Blackwell, Garrett Hudson, and Buddy Blaze, the linebackers. Mike Scott, Jack Hacksaw, TD Jack, the corners, Michelle Colston, and the Ryans, Proster and Yosef, are the safeties. Once again, thank you for joining us tonight. We got Ramos Lynn and Mike Daggs on stats with us. As that pass is tipped and incomplete, Scott jumped the route.
Yes, he did. And in last week's win over Indianapolis, he came away and was one of the big reasons why they came away with that win over Indianapolis last week with 2 interceptions. One of those that he took to the house, almost had another pick 6 onto his stat sheet right there on the very first play that he had.
That pick 6 by Scott really sealed the game as going long, and it's tipped and intercepted. Ryan Yosef says, "Hey-o, I'll take that football," as it was batted into his hands by one of the corners on the left-hand side. The replay will show us who it is. It was Jack Hacksaw.
Indeed, it was Jack Hacksaw with the tip. Batting it to his teammate right there for the interception. Nice defensive play. Nice 2 defensive plays in a row. But the second one ends with the pick to give the ball to LA for the first time here this evening.
And off to Logan Jack, and he picks up 9 yards. Here's the Los Angeles starting offense. Sully Richardson at quarterback, Logan Jack the running back, LZ Pryor, Chris Lee, and Shea Carroll at wide receiver. Tommy Rahman and Jack Flash at tight end. And on the offensive line, Jamarcus Candy, Bob Dunham, and Vladimir Dunham. And they set up 2nd and 1, offset eye, strong side to the left with the tight end over there. And the ball on a stretch play, and Logan Jack gets blown up.
Not a good way to get yards there. He actually goes backwards for a couple yards on that play as the defensive tackle, Catherine Harrell, comes in for the TFL and stops Logan Jack in his tracks. Logan Jack had a monster night on their win against Indianapolis, well over 100 yards rushing and a couple touchdowns.
You gotta get him in the backfield again. It's Catherine Horrell again, as she just bossed Jamarcus Candy on the offensive line for 2 straight plays.
And in Seattle's win over their opponent last week, she came up big herself in that win, coming up with some big defensive plays. And she had a couple of TFLs. Look out!
Actually, Seattle unfortunately lost to Florida last week,
yeah,
29-24. Horrell did do a pretty darn good job, though. 3 tackles, 2 for loss.
I called that game too, but they should have honestly won that game, in my opinion. They were on pace to win that game until about right towards the end of that game.
Los Angeles in the black helmets, white jerseys, blue pants, gold trim. Seattle starts their second drive from the 17-yard line. Blanton over the middle, finding space in the defense, and he completes it to Zach Patton.
Patton right there with a nice completion over the middle. And with that completion, I do believe he's going to be over. Oh, nope, never mind. I thought he was going to be over 1,000 yards on the season. Let me double check that stat here for a second. Yeah, he is. He is over 1,000 yards receiving on the season, so congrats to him on that to get that under his belt.
Joined the 1,000-yard club. Zach Patton. We had 2 members of the 1,000-yard club in the last game that we did earlier, although that was in the rushing department with BDG Hollywood and Charlie Boletsky.
Correct. Yep. Had some wild games earlier in that early block as well.
Yeah. Atlanta coming from 2 scores down, using 4 second-half interceptions to seal the win. And, well, if you didn't see the end of the DC-Baltimore game, I don't want to spoil how that game ended. Just go watch it and you do it. Matt Brown, the fullback, takes a spin out of the backfield for 3 yards, sets up a 3rd down and 3.
Well, if you didn't watch that DC-Baltimore game, let me just be the first to say shame on you. Where were you at? Because that was a big time full of highlights in that game.
3rd and 3. Blanton in the shotgun. He's going to sling it out into the flat. Patton picks up a 1st down to midfield.
Very good completion on that near sideline as he went out on the out route by Patton. Driving down the field now for Seattle, as that previous drive that ended in the interception didn't hurt them as LA's ensuing drive stalled out.
It's a 1-yard gain for Jack that time. Or correction for Blue Scott that time. Nice tackle by Gary Marks. Game starting off a little slow, but I'm sure we will see some fireworks at some point. Already seen 1 interception. Blanton deep into triple coverage, and Zachary Patton, WR1 tonight, showing out in this 1st quarter.
Yes, he is already here with his 3rd reception in the first couple of drives of this ball game, and he's on pace to have a big night as he's already up to 47 yards, and we're only halfway through the 1st quarter now.
Seattle into LA territory for the first time, down to the 28-yard line, approaching the red zone. 5-step drop, sidearm throw to the right-hand side. This time Gears makes the catch and moves the chains once again inside the red zone to the 18.
Gears with his 1st catch of the evening. good for 10 yards, exactly enough for that first down that they needed. Inside the red zone for the first time this evening is the Nemesis looking to get the first score of the ballgame.
Nobody open downfield. Blue Scott just picks up one. David Gears with a big night tonight. Could get over 1,000 yards on the season. He's coming into the game with 836.
Yeah, he would need a monster night tonight. About what was that? 164,
164,
I believe. Yeah.
164. It's completely doable.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen receivers go 200 before, so it's definitely doable.
Also got Gus Scott and Paulie Truth both approaching the 500 mark. Over the middle, touchdown! Seattle scores first. Gus Scott into the end zone.
Trellis Blanton to Gus Scott, just a thing of beauty on the slant pattern across the middle. Caught the defense sleeping a little bit on the coverage, and Trellis got it right where that ball needed to be on the hands of Scott to where only he could catch it for the first 6 points of the game. Seattle up early here in this one.
Christian Ronald Suey on to kick the extra points. That was a massive hit that Trellis Blanton took as he hung in there in the pocket and found the open receiver down the field. I believe it was a linebacker blitz as well, which is why there was so much space down the middle.
One big thing to note on that drive, thanks to the stats team, 9 plays in a row with positive yardage, and not a single play on that string of plays in a row where they went backwards. So that is a major reason why we saw so much success from Seattle on that drive that led to the touchdown.
Long high kick, returned by Shane Carroll. He'll bring it out to the 26. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. And I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the curtain into the broadcast booth here in a second as Logan Jack gets skinny, goes up the middle for 7 yards. Mike Daggs does not have a microphone tonight, so all he is doing is communicating through GIFs. And while I was reading that, out of the corner of my eye, I just see this dancing taco pop up on my phone where I have Discord pulled up. I mean, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.
Don't apologize, Mike. I mean, it provides a lot of fun times for us here in the booth.
It's a late night for everybody involved here on the East Coast. First down for Los Angeles as the catch is made by Jack Flash.
Now it's LA's turn, though, to see if they can respond to Seattle's scoring drive. You know, LA's last drive didn't last very long. They stalled out after the interception they had.
Middle caught, 9-yard gain. Never actually got to go over the Seattle defense because they got off the field so fast on their first drive. Sean Parent, Aaron Stein, Greg Ward, and Catherine Horrell are on the defensive line. KT Horrell and David Horrell and Matthias Citrion are the linebackers. Amar Bryant Jr., Daniel Valentine, the corners. Ethan Kai, Brady Clark, and Doug Dreads Day are the safeties.
Good evening to Charles there in the chat. Good evening to you, sir. I see you. After that big tackle for loss made by the
Lemon Man himself.
Sean Parent. Yeah, Sean Parent. Good play.
I think that was Citrion who got
Was it Citrion?
Well. It was Citrion, the Lemon Man himself.
Okay.
Sets up 3rd and 5. Deep down the field, underthrown and intercepted from Sully Richardson. And that one could have gone all the way back. It's going to be brilliant field position for Seattle at the LA 36-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, after the tackle for loss by Citrion, you could see that interception from a mile away. That was made by Amar Bryant Jr. on the such great coverage on that play that was made by Bryant Jr. It looked like there for a second he might take that one back to the house along the sidelines, but luckily for LA, he was caught there at the 35-yard line.
That is Amar Bryant Jr.'s 8th interception of the season, and that moves him into first place in Seattle Nemesis history of interceptions in a season. Now, the Nemesis have only played 2 seasons, but the most goes to Amar. So congratulations for setting that record.
Yes, indeed. Congrats to him and Mike Scott on the very first play of their drive, on Seattle's drive, excuse me. Mike Scott almost had an opportunity to steal one right back with an interception.
2nd and 10. If I was Seattle, I may be going a little bit conservative here to try and just move the ball down the field, and they do exactly that. Go to the safe route down the seam to Gus Scott.
Yep. Gus Scott had the touchdown on their scoring drive the last time they scored, and goes right back down the middle to that safe route, right across the middle where they went for the touchdown last time, and gets another first down out of it.
Already 1 interception for Sully Richardson. That was the big thing in their win last week, as Scott off the left-hand side gets 3 against Indianapolis. Richardson did not throw an interception, which has really been the Achilles heel of Sully pretty much throughout his entire career, as he has thrown 21 this season, now 22 with the 1 so far tonight.
So I'll continue my thought after this play here.
Strong side handoff goes for 3, sits up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, but after that play there by Scott that went for a couple of yards, Sully, I always say that for any quarterback, it's always good when you have a positive touchdown to interception ratio, and he had an even one last week when he had a 0 touchdown, 0 interception. So he didn't really hurt the team with that stat line.
Bringing the house. That means one man's uncovered, and it's Zachary Patton for a first down at the 11-yard line. Los Angeles really bringing the pressure on defense. That's, I think, their 3rd blitz in the first quarter.
Trying to get back there to Blanton to make him feel uncomfortable, but they're just not getting back there in time. And Blanton just getting rid of the ball quickly.
They can get a first down inside the 1, but I think Seattle is thinking end zone. Blanton throws it short to the 6. And Patton makes another catch. Clock stops, 30 seconds left to go in the first.
Yeah, the defense for LA so far, anyways, not enough speed to get back there in the backfield to get Blanton. One thing I've noticed out of Blanton this evening, it's either 1 or 3-step drops. We haven't seen a deep drop out of Blanton yet, I don't believe.
I see Christian Boglupi in the chat. He says, I'm going to need a special pro versus minors game with Indianapolis versus Annapolis. First off, you would give whatever broadcaster did that game fits. But second, no, as Baloo Scott is tackled well behind the line of scrimmage, and that will end the first quarter of play. Seattle leads 7-0 and trying to take advantage of another turnover to double their lead. We'll be right back with the second quarter right after this. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Michael Trillo, Nate Hall in the broadcast booth for you for this one. Ramos Lynn and Mike Daggs joining us on stats. Has only 19 total yards so far for Los Angeles in the first quarter. And now they're behind by 14. What a catch in triple coverage for T. DeQueen.
T. DeQueen with a nice corner route just past the outstretched arms of 2 defenders. One of those being free safety Rochelle Colston, back there trying to cover her on that corner route. Just couldn't get the hands up in time. Ball finds the hands of T. DeQueen. Up 2 scores. And LA is in trouble early here in the second quarter.
Fast start for Seattle. They've already obtained their best record in franchise history. Finished last season with just 1 win. Already up to 3 wins this season and looking for a 4th here tonight. And Nate, as you mentioned right at the top of the broadcast, they already beat Los Angeles once this season down in LA 23-20.
Right, yeah. Yep. And looking to get the series sweep on them here today, and off to a very good start in getting that accomplished.
The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th to 30th for the season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the convention alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast. Reserve your special group rate today. We'll see you there. And Nate, both you and I will see everybody there. We're both headed to the convention. It's a pretty easy trip for you. That's really close to you. I gotta have to fly in, but.
Yeah, I'll be driving down. It's about between a 45 and 50-minute drive down south for me.
Deep pass over the middle from Richardson. Looking for Elsie Pryor, incomplete. Well, I've only ever gotten the chance to drive to one convention. And that was the Atlanta one, which is about a 5.5-hour drive.
Yeah, a little bit. I still probably would have flown that just because.
Well, and then of course the after the Logan Jack carry goes for -1 yards. It's 3rd and 11. Citrion up to 4 tackles, 2 for loss. And then of course there was supposed to be a convention in Jacksonville, but that was 2020, and well, we all know what happened with that.
Mike in our chat saying that he'll be there. So we'll be seeing him for sure.
Probably, we're hoping it's the most attended convention yet, as the Lycans are going to go 3 and outs, as Amar Bryant Jr. has an interception and now a pass deflection here early on in this ballgame.
Yeah, and here's after that 40-second drive that's going to end with a punt. Here's a stat for you now that we're early here in the second quarter. After 3 drives for a total of 4 minutes and 29 seconds, I believe, if I did my math right.
I believe so, yes. That's not a lot. And also, they only have 19 total yards.
Yikes.
A tough start for Los Angeles, who last week against Indianapolis had probably their best game of the season. Sully threw for 171 yards. Logan Jack rushed for 146 and 2 touchdowns.
Nope.
They had
4
2
minutes.
field goals from Sid O'Lindy as well.
4 minutes, 19
middle,
seconds.
Seattle pouring it on here early in the second. Another strike to Patton.
But yeah, I knew I did my math wrong. It's 4 minutes, 19 seconds. Be that as it may, Zachary Patton just having himself a first half as he catches his 7th of the half already. We're not even halfway through the first half yet here. Or second quarter, I should say. I should say 6, but still. 6 receptions here and not even halfway through the second quarter yet. He's on pace to hit 20 receptions in this game.
Handoff, Blue Scott, nice block on the outside by the left tackle, and falls forward through the contact from Garrett Hudson for a first down. And the way this is going, Seattle may put this one to bed by halftime.
May very well indeed. They're on pace to go up by 21 if LA doesn't come up with an answer on this drive. After a very nice run off the left tackle on that left-hand side towards the near sideline.
And because Seattle has been so dominant with the football, Scott stays on her feet, tackled after a gain of 6. The clock going very fast already. 2 minutes gone by here in the second.
And a lot of that has to do with how much they've utilized Beluska on the ground. She's already up to 8 attempts for 25 yards. She's only averaged about 3 yards per attempt, but she's been very effective on the ground, and that's been allowing them to control time of possession.
2nd and 4. Now Scott the single back. She'll get the carry again. Get 3 yards, bring up a 3rd down and 1. This is one of the more interesting final weekends of SFL football that we have seen in a long time. We've already seen Baltimore go down to defeat today. We were talking in our first broadcast about how if the dominoes all fall their way or fall against them, they could be on the road in the first round.
Could they be on the road in the first round, though? I think they'd be at home in the first round, but then they
could be away in the second round. So they have the potential to play an away playoff game.
Yeah, depending on how deep they run. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, which is just nuts, considering how dominant they've been over the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, for sure. To have Baltimore potentially play an away game this playoff is absolutely nuts. And the reason we brought that up, and we brought that up in our last game that we called, as Christian Ronald Suey comes on to attempt the field goal as their drive stalled out, going up 17-0. The last time the Baltimore Vultures played an away game and lost was all the way back in season 16 at Florida, in the, I believe it was in the quarterfinal round, and lost that game to a Florida team that ended up losing to Denver in the championship game. So
we could be in some uncharted territory here. Obviously, they're not going to get the top seed. That belongs to Atlanta after their victory today.
Yeah.
We shall see how the rest of this last week plays out.
If you're wondering who's, as that pass is completed for about 8 yards to, I believe that's Jack Flash. It is.
Yep.
For a nice
catch
completion.
of the day for him.
Yeah, nice completion over the middle for about 8. If you're wondering which teams have to win in order for Baltimore to finish in 5th, that would be Minnesota, Fort Worth, and Arizona. And they all play between Saturday and Monday this weekend.
Diving catch attempt for Tommy Rahman. The ball just past his outstretched fingertips. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
And a big 3rd down coming up for LA to continue this drive. They've had a lot of 3 and outs here early in this ball game. I don't believe they've converted a 3rd down yet, if I'm not mistaken.
They have not, and Jack is
they will not.
Close. They didn't get there.
There will be another 3 and out. They have yet to convert a 3rd down in this ball game, and their 3rd down conversion woes continue, as they are now 0 for 4. Yeah, 0 for 4 in this ball game. Wow.
The total time of possession is only 4 minutes and 19 seconds to Seattle's 10 minutes. So Seattle doubling up on time of possession here.
Unreal.
They'll start at their own 35. Miss any SFL action? Check out highlights of SFL games on the SFL YouTube channel and on Highlight Nation provided by Victor's Valiant, YouTube's premier sports highlight maker. Subscribe to Highlight Nation and Victor's Valiant on YouTube for all your sports highlight needs. Seattle with a 17-0 lead and the football here midway through the 2nd quarter. Blanton has done basically no wrong, and neither has Zach Patton as we go to Cameron Irvine and SFL Studios for a game update. You staying awake up there, Cam?
Sure thing, Mike, and forgive me, Joey Rob, for showing this. Joey Rob, a perfect SFL career up to this point, a 53-yarder to tie it before the half. Doinks off the crossbar. Where have we seen that tonight? Vancouver leads 6-3 in the third. Back to you.
DC doinked one off the upright at the end of regulation on a 57-yarder that would have won them the game, although they did end up winning in overtime. But I'm not sure if we've seen 2 crossbar doinks in a day. We've seen now 3 this season. Of course, the one from Atlanta against Indianapolis ended up going in.
Yeah,
Scott took a crunching hit, but got the first.
Yeah, this has been a very crazy and wacky season of firsts, and just shows you that anything is possible in this league, and it just continues. It continues, and we see more and more crazy stuff happen each and every week in this league.
Under 5 minutes to go, second quarter. Blanton pressured, has to get the ball away, and it's incomplete. Good job by both of the defensive ends that time for Los Angeles, Spiro and Blackwell. They were both coming after the quarterback.
Yes, they were. They're not giving them much time to get rid of the ball on that play, as Blanton was under some serious pressure on that throw.
2nd and 10, Blanton now back in the shotgun, flanked by Scott and Brown. To the far side, Patton tries to turn upfield, no can do. Does pick up 7, brings up a 3rd and manageable 3. Trellis Blanton already up to 142 yards. Let's check that, 149 yards is the stats update in this game.
149, and 95 of those going to one player. His name is Zachary Patton, now with 95 on 8 receptions after that beautiful out route that was ran by him towards the far sidelines.
Some players would be happy with that stat line
for
an entire game, not much less a quarter and a half.
Right?
Third and 3, let's see what they do with it. It's a 5-step drop from Blanton. He shakes off one tackler, but the second one gets home as the offensive line goes out for an early dinner, leaving Gary Marks alone to rough up the quarterback.
And now LA comes out with an important 3rd down stop of their own, getting their defense off the field and not allowing the Seattle offense to drive for one of the very few times this evening, because we're so used to Seattle ending in scoring drives.
Amelia Grace, her first punt of the game, is going to pin Los Angeles deep at their own 17-yard line. Los Angeles has got to get something going here. What needs to change for the Lycans on offense? They only have 27 total yards.
Well, for one thing, they need to get better offensive production from both their quarterback and their running back. I mean, when you got a running back who's only got 5 yards of total production, when he had 142 last week, that can't happen.
Correction from the punt. Lilac Butte is the punter for Seattle, not Amelia Grace. She is the Los Angeles punter. Nice job by Logan Jack, getting out to the 36-yard line that time.
And that'll definitely help the matter go in the right direction for the Lycans. After being quiet for the first quarter and a half, they get all the way out to the 36-yard line after that 19-yard rush off to the right with some nice blocking to go along with it.
Only the 2nd first down of the game for Los Angeles. They're going to continue to feed Logan Jack, and he gets 1, 2, 3 blocks down the right-hand side into Seattle territory and all the way down to the 29.
And get Logan Jack the ball. Something's gotten into him that he got mad after the first couple of touches, the first 5 touches of the ball game, that he wasn't getting very many yards. And after 2 runs in a row off that right-hand side of the offensive line and following his blockers to that side of the field, in 2 big runs. He is now up to 59 yards total.
Shout out Vladimir Gunnar with a huge block to spring Jack on that play, although the next one after was dead on arrival because Greg Ward got up in Sully Richards' business and knocked the ball away.
But you just see now after those 2 runs, now Logan Jack's on pace for over 100 yards in the game after just two touches.
They give it to Jack again. Again, the blocking is good, and again he's got a first down. This time into the red zone.
And Logan Jack on this drive, it's been the Logan Jack show so far. 3 big runs. This one going for an 11-yard gain right up the gut after a nice spin move around the defender, getting a good gain of about, as I said, about 11, and getting inside the red zone for the first time for LA. Now they need to get Richardson involved though. It can't be all the Logan Jack show.
73 yards in the game for Logan Jack, most of them on this drive. And they went to him again, this time in the passing game, and he only got 3.
Yeah, they did try to go Logan Jack's route in the passing game, trying to get Solly some passing yards, but it just didn't go anywhere. The defense for Seattle was too quick.
We've reached the 2-minute warning of the first half. Los Angeles desperately trying to get something on the board before halftime and try and swing the momentum back in their favor with Seattle 17. LA zip, but they're in the red zone right here. The SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. We've seen Los Angeles have a lot of success out of this offset eye. They'll run the sweep, the blocks get picked up, and it's a 6-yard gain, 3rd and 1.
Maybe Logan Jack getting a little tired after seeing the ball so much on this drive. He was a little bit slow getting up after that play, but good 8 yards, I believe, on that run, and big 3rd and 1 coming up here inside the 10.
Simulation Soccer Federation, the chat has been in the news about progression and characters for next season. Stay tuned over the next week or so, I believe. There'll be some announcements about that. Jack spins inside, gets a first down to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for LA.
Yeah, there will be a lot of announcements on that here in the off season, I am sure, once this season has been completed.
But specifically the roster rules, I think, are going to
Right.
happen in the next week or so. Logan Jack says, quit talking about next season because I'm in the end zone right now.
Logan Jack, he was the workhorse on this drive, found a hole on the left-hand side of the offensive line. The tackle and the guard parted the waters for him right there along that line, and he found the hole and busted through for a nice 9-yard touchdown to get in the end zone for the first time today. And now LA pinning this extra point gets within 10 points.
Jack responsible for all 82 yards on that drive. That's insane.
Wow. Yeah, because 3 of those yards were
through the air.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's the Logan Jack show here at the Nemisphere in the 2nd quarter with a minute left to go in the half. Los Angeles have some life. Scotty gets up to the 22. That's pretty much just what the doctor ordered for Los Angeles. Go back to exact same formula that they used to beat Indianapolis last week.
Thanks to Bobby Anthony for the $5 super chat. Says, I'm thinking the Lycans can either come back or Seattle will make this a blowout. Who knows? Well, we're going to find out. LA did a good job of cutting this thing back to 10 points. We're going to see how long LA can make this the Logan Jack show and keep riding him till they can't ride him anymore.
Pass goes underneath to the fullback, Matt Brown. That's only his 4th catch of the season.
2nd and 6 from your length.
And he almost doubled his yardage total. At 5 yards receiving, he's up to 9.
I think Seattle would be well to do here to just run out the clock here in the first half.
They are going to run it to Blue Scott up the middle. They didn't get the first down, so I doubt they're going to try anything too wacky here in the final 15 seconds, and we'll just head to the break.
I would tend to agree with you here.
5 seconds left. They don't snap the ball. Oh, no, they do. In 1 second, they give Scott one more try at it, and that is the end of the first half. Seattle dominated for most of the first half, but then Logan Jack finally entered the building and went 82 yards by himself to get the Lycans back in the ball game. It's the Nemesis 17, the Lycans 7 here at halftime.
And Charles,
Pseudo, I see your super
yeah.
I see your super chat. My answer, no.
Oh, come on.
It is far too late, and there are people asleep in my household that would not appreciate that.
What a bummer. I was so looking forward to that.
Second, you're gonna, well, maybe at the convention. Maybe at the convention.
All right. Hey, I want you to do that.
Second half of play coming up. Los Angeles starts with the ball down 10, and you're probably gonna go see him go right back to Logan Jack.
Oh, absolutely. After it worked so well towards the end of the first half, I think you've got to, since it worked so well the first time, you go to him until the well runs dry.
Start in the offset eye. Stretch play to the right, and this time the blocks are not picked up. The right guard is so crucial to that play, Nate, and if he gets blown up like he did right there by David Horrell, the play just goes nowhere.
Oh, absolutely. And anytime you have a Horrell in on a tackle or plugging up a hole like that, you're not going to go anywhere. And the Horrells are known for just absolutely stopping plays before they get started.
Greg Ward and Aaron Stein also in on that
Oh,
one.
oh,
That
oh,
ball's
oh.
over the middle, and it's knocked away by Citrion. Matthias, looking for only his 2nd interception of the season, didn't get it there, and gives Los Angeles a chance at a 3rd and 10.
Citrion needs a better set of hands. He had a pass deflection in the first half, gets his second one here, early on here in the second half.
Citrion up to 5 tackles, 2 for loss, and 2 passes defended. Again, a good stat line for a linebacker for an entire game. Oh, wow! What an athletic, leaping interception by Daniel Valentine, and Seattle snatches the momentum right back like the thieves they are.
Yep. Looking for Chris Lee with Sully Richardson on that corner route, but Valentine said, "No sirree, I got you covered, big boy." And I'm coming away with that football on the interception, stopping that before it gets started, and taking that ball away and giving it right back to my offense.
Like a thief in the night, 2nd time that Seattle has used an interception, and will start in Los Angeles territory. Flip to the wrist. Into open space for a massive first down to Paulie Truth. First time we're seeing the Truth in on the action tonight.
The truth shall set you free, and the Truth gets a first down right here as he gets a big first down inside the 30-yard line on the very first play from scrimmage on this drive.
All the way down close to the red zone at the 24. Oh, look out.
Oh.
Blanton almost gave it right back. Tazzy Blackwell was sitting in the heart of that defense to knock it down.
Tazzy with her first pass deflection of the ball game. She had a tackle for loss in that first half earlier. She almost had herself an interception right there.
Second and 10 from the Maulers, 24 yards.
Second and 10. This time they stretch the play to the weak side. Believe Scott inside the 20. Picks up 5 to the 19. Sets up a third down.
Yep, third down for Seattle. And do you think they go to the air here to try to get the first down, or do you think they just stay safe and
Looking
hand
at
it
the
off?
formation, they're going to pass, and they're going to go safe pass outside to the out route, and it's caught for a first down. David Gears grabs it.
Only Gears' second completion today, good for about 5, I believe, on that pattern.
First and 10 from
7 on that play. But when you got most of the plays going to Patton, I guess that's bound to happen.
Nowhere to go with the football, and down goes Blanton. Second sack of the game for Los Angeles.
Yeah. And Gary Marks says, I'm going to go ahead and swish that on through and get the sack. Thank you very much. I'll add that to my stats book.
That's Marks' second sack of the game. Ace Blackwell almost had one, but Blanton knocked it away. Oh my goodness. What a heads-up play by Ace Blackwell to knock that pass down.
Oh, all right. So here's something that we got just in from Commish. Storyline for the SFL as we're coming up on a 3rd and 14 on from the 16. I'll continue that thought after this play. See what happens.
Maybe
here on
something
the
to
third
bring
down.
up at the start of the next drive is
Yeah.
Seattle looking for the end zone here. 3rd and 14. They can get a first down inside the 1. Looking end zone.
Oh,
One-handed grab for the touchdown. All hail the Queen. Teed's Queen is in for 6.
That is her second touchdown of the evening. Her first one, both of her catches has been touchdowns. Her first one was a 10-yard touchdown in the first half, and this second catch of hers is of the one-handed variety. Bow down to the Queen indeed. Get out of here with that. One-handed in the end zone, second catch, second touchdown.
Efficient night, right? 2 catches, 2
Oh, yeah.
touchdowns.
You can't be mad at that stat line.
Seattle goes up 24-7. Just when you thought that the Lycans were going to have some momentum coming out of the half with the big Logan Jack drive towards the end of the first half, but Seattle has come out in this second half and this third quarter and just taken all that momentum right back.
Absolutely. LA in a big hole now here in the third quarter.
Comeback not impossible, but they're going to have to turn on the accelerator, probably starting about now. So let's talk about the survivor pool.
Yes. Yeah, so big storyline in the SFL. 3 people left in the survivor pool coming into this week. Gerald Smith, Gunny McGuire, and Jack Wall. Now, Gunny McGuire picked Baltimore this week, and they lost tonight to DC. Gerald Smith, in turn, picked LA tonight, and they are currently losing to Seattle.
Nice pitching catch there to the outside for Shea Carroll.
Now, Jack Wall picks against his own team and could win over $2,000 tomorrow, $2,495 to be exact, tomorrow afternoon, with a London win should his own team Canton lose tomorrow. If they all lose, however, I believe they all split the pot.
did not play the Survivor Pool this year, but maybe I'm going to have to next year. Or next season.
It's a fun time, and I'll be the first to say that I was the first one out after week 7. So, week 7. So, didn't do very well, but had a fun time nonetheless, and it's always a fun time every season.
A lot of people calling out Jack Wall in the chat for betting against his own team. Hey, if $2,000 was on the line, I'd bet with who I thought was going to win, my team or not.
Absolutely.
Here goes
Look
Logan
out.
Jack. He breaks a tackle, and he's finally driven out of bounds at the Seattle 35.
And they need to go to Jack more often. I mean, he got you your first touchdown. Why can't he get you your second, third, and fourth? At the rate he's going right now, I mean, you got to off to him until Solly can prove he can start throwing with more efficiency. And a nice run right there to prove that he's got more in the tank to run it off to the left-hand side off tackle to get another big gain. That puts him over 100 yards now at 114 off of 14 attempts, 8.1 yards per carry with that one touchdown.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Nate, because I agree with you. But the running back in this scheme only goes as far as the blocking does. And right there, David Borrell gets a tackle after a missed block. So if the blocking holds up, yes, continue to run the ball with Logan Jack. But if that starts going backwards, you're going to have to rely on Sully Richardson at some point.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. You got to start relying, as long as he can prove that he can complete passes and be efficient. Like that.
How about that? That's a really nice pass on a curl to the outside. And the pass is caught at the 11-yard line.
Indeed like that. Indeed like that to Chris Lee. Second catch. Was it Shea Carroll?
It was Shea Carroll, yes.
Okay, yeah. Shea Carroll with his second catch of the day on the corner route, approaching the 10-yard line at the 11. Nice play, nice throw by Solly. Only his 5th completion of the ball game, nonetheless, but nice throw.
That was definitely Chris Lee. So you were right. I was wrong. Seattle jumps off side play.
I should never second guess myself.
I mean, 88, 89, it looks kind of similar. I had this problem last week when I was calling the Los Angeles game.
I've been known to miss numbers too, so that's why I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. So.
Aaron Stein jumps off side for Seattle. And it'll give Los Angeles a fresh look at this one from inside the 5.
Yeah, Mike, 9 times out of 10, I probably do need glasses, but I don't know if I actually squint when I see the numbers.
I'm currently wearing glasses, and it's not working, not helping me.
Oh, look out!
That play was blown up. They wanted to hand the ball off to Jack, but David Horrell got in the backfield before they could hand the ball off. Check that, Sean Parent got in the backfield before they could hand the ball off, forcing Richardson to scramble. Just a mess of a play all around.
Oh, yeah. It was a mess from the very snap of the ball. That was just a yikes play all around.
Second and 8. They're in the stretch formation again. Linebackers press up to the line. Jack runs away with it, gets a block on the outside, and scores a touchdown.
Drive that ball right into the end zone for the second time tonight, Logan Jack. Because you're the touchdown scorer for the Lycans this evening. As you follow your blockers right around the right-hand side. Nice blocking by your fullback as well. Getting that thing right into the end zone for 6 more points and keeping your team in this ball game right now for the time being.
Really great stuff by Victor Creed, the fullback. Terrific block on the outside. Vladimir Dunham, excellent from his right tackle spot. I believe Tommy Rahman also picked up a block. So great job by everybody for ushering Logan Jack into the end zone. And they are back down by just 10 with 6:01 to go in the 3rd. For Los Angeles to come back into this game, this is where the defense is going to have to step up and blank Seattle a couple of times.
Yeah, and I see Christian Bacigalupi in the chat saying it feels like Tia the Queen versus Logan Jack, and that's what it's been the last couple of drives. T now with 2 touchdowns, Logan with 2 touchdowns. He wants it more at this point, I think.
So Seattle has only had 2 drives, with the exception of the end of the half that was only at 10 seconds and 3 plays. They've only had 2 drives where they've not scored. 1 interception and 1 punt.
And for the most part, they've been efficient. They've scored for a majority, 4 of their drives out of the 6 that they've, 7 that they've had it if you count the end of the half, but I really don't count that as an actual drive. So.
Blanton flips it over the middle to Paulie Truth for a gain of 7. Portland up 10-6 in the 4th in a low-scoring game in the other 2 teams in the Pacific going at it. These 4 games are, in the grand scheme of things, not going to mean a whole lot. The Pacific was decided at the end of last week with Portland not being able to catch Vancouver. Blue Scott roughed up in the backfield for a loss of 1.
No,
Nice job
yeah.
by Garrett Hudson.
Yeah, we know Vancouver has the Pacific sealed up, but this would put them at 7-5. I don't know how that would play out with the standings.
I'm sure it would get them a more favorable first-round matchup.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That was a little sidearm number looking for Gears. It's incomplete. And Los Angeles does get a stop. They're going to force a 3-and-out. Lilac Butte comes back on to punt.
So you're saying there's a chance for the Lycans? Yes, we are.
Down 10 with a 1/4 to go.
Yes, we are. Wouldn't have thought this here in the first half, but yes, we are at this point.
When Seattle was up 7-0 and Los Angeles had 27 total yards of offense, yeah, I thought this game was done and dusted, but the Lycans have done a great job coming back into this game. Obviously, Logan Jack has been great, but Sully Richardson has made the throws to Chris Lee and Shea Carroll when he's needed to.
Yep, absolutely. He may only have 55 passing yards, but he's been the quarterback that he's needed to be despite the 2 interceptions. And yeah, it's been mainly the Logan Jack show, and Sully's been there to back him up when needed, here in the second half especially.
Time they flip that stretch play formation to the weak side, and Logan Jack takes full advantage and gets up near midfield, and it was the safety, Brady Clark, that brought him down.
And I fully believe if that ref wasn't there to slow him up right there and made him had to jump around him at the end of that run, he's like, get out of the way, gotta get around you. He might have been still running at this point. I think it's all the striped zebra's fault.
So you're saying there was a 13th or a 12th defender out there?
Yeah, that's what I'm fully believing that it was that he didn't get a touchdown that play.
Richardson back in the shotgun with 3 receivers to aim at. He throws over the middle into traffic. It's bouncing around there like a pinball, and it eventually hits the turf. KT Horrell had the best shot at it. Richardson under 50% completion. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Just hasn't been finding his receivers tonight for the majority of this ball game for the most part. Been doing a little better job, like I said, here in the third quarter of finding his receivers. That first half was in the nightmare. It was just a nightmare. He's definitely glad that's in his rear view.
It's been tough throwing deep middle. That's where the interceptions have come from. We're just going to go to Logan Jack off the check down, and he picks up 7. Now a 3rd and manageable, and you can use the running game in a situation like this.
You can, and the stretch play has worked to both sides of the line this quarter, and as long as your blocking holds up, you can run it strong side here and possibly pick up the first down.
Well, the linebackers and the D-line shift to the strong side, and they jumped off sides. Replay. Logan Jack spins away, gets a block, and picks up a first down anyway. Logan Jack, he knows it's the end of his season. He's leaving it all out between the hash marks tonight.
Running with a purpose, I was just about to say. It didn't matter if they were going to get a penalty or not. He was going to find a way to get those 5 yards one way or another without the help of the yellow flag. So good job by him to not rely on R62 to pick up that 5 yards for him.
148 of the 207 total yards have come on the ground.
Yep, off of 19 carries.
And Logan Jack also has 10 yards receiving as well.
Just for good measure.
That time it's the other Jack, Jack Flash, the tight end over the middle for 4. Don't leave the broadcast without joining our Discord server. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out for content about the league, created by the community. Participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and test your skills in the survivor pool. Join our server at www.simulationfl.net and click on the Discord icon in the menu. The SFL community, 2,000 strong. We'll see you there. Third down in inches now. This has got to be Logan Jack territory.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've gotten this far with the guy. You gotta get on the back of him and still, just like I said, run them well till it runs dry.
Jack, oh, they tried to dance with the lady that brought him, but she went home with another man. I don't know where that reference was going. KT Horrell with a tackle for loss. It is 11:57 here on the East Coast, ladies and gentlemen. We have officially reached SFL After Dark status. This is going to end up being a long field goal attempt for Sid O'Lindy to try and make this a 7-point game.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. I'm not going to repeat it, though.
This one is up. This one is good, and it is a 7-point ball game, 24-17.
One-score game, though, and like we've been saying all along, it's been a 3-score game for a majority of the game. Like, first half and even early in the second half, and LA's found a way to claw themselves right back into contention of this ball game. And Seattle has been kind of at a stalemate these last couple of drives, and allowing LA to get back in it.
Deep kick from O'Lindy. Returned by Gus Scott, only up to the 22-yard line. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of the SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. This time, Seattle has taken a page out of LA's book with the formation, but they pass to the weak side out of the offset eye. And David Gears makes the grab.
They've gotten away from Patton after Patton's gotten up to 8 receptions on 95 for 95 yards. I feel like he's had that since towards the end of the first half, and they're trying to get more of the other receivers involved as Gears gets his 3rd reception there.
Lou Scott blown up. LA sent the house as the linebackers were really crouched in on the line. And the tackle was made by Ace Blackwell for a loss. 3rd down and 6.
And wouldn't this be something if LA could somehow come up with a 3-and-out here as they come out in dime formation trying to stop the insured pass. Oh, look out!
Blanton escapes, stays on his feet, throws, first down! Zachary Patton! How did they pull that off?
Apparently Blanton knows some magic. He's a magician of some sort and took some classes, because that was supposed to be a sack all the way, but somehow he got out of that situation, threw it to Patton like it's nothing towards that near sideline. Patton comes up with his 9th reception for now over 100 yards on the.
Crosses the 1,100 yard mark on the season. Had 999 receiving yards before the game today. That pass goes incomplete.
So we'll get one more play here in the third quarter.
Patton has also crossed the 100 targets mark tonight. He was sitting at 97 before the start of play. Second and 10. Blanton again to that ever reliable out route to David Gears, and we head to the fourth quarter. 7-point game. The Nemesis and the Lycans. The winner gets third place in the Pacific Division and could leave season 20 with their heads held high with a win in the last week of play. Playing for pride, playing for themselves, playing for the team here in the last week of the season. First play of the fourth quarter is a pass over the middle, and it's caught by Paulie Truth. Only his third catch of the game.
I was just about to say, Truth now up to 3 catches now on the night, as he's up to 45 yards on those 3 receptions. The only 2 now that needs to get up to 3 receptions on the evening is Tita Queen, that already has 2 touchdowns, and Gus Scott.
Lou up the middle, only 2. Once again, thank you for joining us for this crew's final broadcast of the regular season. My name is Michael Cirillo. Thank you for keeping us company late night tonight. Nate Hall, the broadcast crew, with me. Also with us are Mike Enemy Dags and Ramos Radioactive Lynn in the stats truck today. I told him I'd throw in some Imagine Dragons references. Well, there you go. You're only getting one.
Hey, it worked out. There it is.
3rd and 6 now for Seattle. Blanton throws deep, and it's incomplete. He had Gus Scott. He just overthrew him.
Yeah. Well, it went off the hands of Gus Scott, I believe. It just bounced off his hands. He should have honestly came down with that 3rd reception for the first down, but bounced off his hands, hit the turf, and they get 4th down coming up. And LA now squarely with the opportunity to tie this thing up here in the 4th quarter.
9:32 to go. Anybody's game here. Buttes on for her 3rd punt of the night. It's going to be arcing towards the 10, fair caught at the 12. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Logan Jack. Most of the time he's been good tonight, but there have been a couple times where the Seattle Nemesis defensive line has just put a big gold stop sign in front of him.
Yes, they have. Logan Jack had absolutely nowhere to go. 3 yards. My question to Ramos is, which one is which, as he calls us lightning and thunder?
I think we'll leave that up to our imagination.
There you go.
Richardson short middle and not getting a whole lot there Tommy Rahman with the grab, but it's still 3rd and 12.
And just as we said, LA had was squarely in position to tie this thing up on their ensuing drive. They are hit with a 3rd and longer than 10 play here.
This is where you make your money if you're Sully Richardson. He throws it deep.
Nope.
It's incomplete. Knocked away by Brady Clark. And Seattle's going to have some excellent field position as Amelia Grace is going to punt from the back of her own end zone.
Yep. Brady Clark was back there playing perfect defense back there in center field, if you will. I know we're not playing baseball here, but you know it is baseball season, and Brady Clark was back there just playing center field, hits him right in the hands, batted down to the turf and incomplete.
They came after the punt and almost blocked it, but it's not a great one. Seattle almost in field goal range already at the LA 36 after the fair catch. As the chat has completely lost its mind and is now singing Queen. 8:25 to go. I'm going to have to stop looking at chat. It's very distracting.
But it's so
Blanton in
entertaining.
the flat to Baloo Scott. And really all Seattle needs to do right now is just run a bunch of time off the clock and score and leave Los Angeles no time, down 2.
Yeah, Seattle with a few extra yards is now could be in field goal range here shortly if they pick up a few extra yards. So with the clock running still, they could put this game to bed here.
Blanton, Gears, somehow he hangs on to that. Ryan Yosef tried to wrestle it away as he went to the ground, but Gears with an iron grip keeps it and finds Seattle into the red zone.
Nice inside route ran by Gears on that one. Looked like it was a crossing route with one of the other wide receivers for Seattle. Gears went to the inside as the other receiver went to the outside, and the defenders just couldn't pick him up wide open for the catch with Gears for the first down.
Blanton, going backwards is Zachary Patton, and all credit to Patton. He was given no shot by his quarterback, but almost made something out of that.
Yeah, that was just going nowhere that time as Jack Hacksaw stayed with the receiver, bring him down for a tackle for loss.
2nd and 13, Los Angeles desperately needs to hold Seattle to a field goal here. Blanton steps in the pocket, checks it down to Scott, and Scott goes backwards a yard, so -4 on this set of downs so far.
Clock's still rolling under 7 minutes now, but yeah, big 3rd down here for both teams. Which one's going to score? Is LA going to hold them to 3 or not here? This is going to be a big play.
Blanton, again, nobody open downfield, and Scott goes backwards again. 4th and 15, and here comes CRS to try and kick the field goal.
3 negative plays in a row. Not what you're looking for if you're Seattle offense. And now Ronald Suey on to attempt the field goal here. Most likely officially from 35 yards out.
35 or 36 should be in Christian Ronald Suey's wheelhouse. That was a bad snap, but it was corralled eventually and put through from 36. Back to a 2-score game, 27-17.
That was a horrible snap. They're not going to show it again, but I just wonder if that there was some mechanics wrong with that snap or what happened there. But luckily, it just goes through.
Los Angeles running out of time, 5:46 to go. Carroll back deep, fields it at the 5, as blockers in front of him, and only gets up to the 26. And I have a theoretical question here for you, Nate.
Okay.
How close to the end of the game do you have to get before you go away from Logan Jack in the run game?
That is a good question. Well, there's your answer.
Right now is the answer, as we see 4 wide from Los Angeles. Richardson, deep, caught behind the defense, broken tackle. Jack Flash, in a flash, flips the field exactly to the Seattle 25.
In one play, goes 50 yards. And indeed, just flips the field on that one play from scrimmage, breaking away from a tackler and getting down to the 25-yard line after a spectacular throw from Solly, almost doubling his yard total for the day.
I mean, I think Mike Daggs would never forgive me if I don't say hashtag throw it to the tight end. Here's Logan Jack. His offensive line didn't give him any help there. No blocking. He got 1 yard.
So yeah, they do go back to the running back here. Didn't go very far, but now that you're at this end of the field, you can probably afford to go back to him a little bit.
They do. And he gets blocks. And he's racing to the goal line. Touchdown! LA!
Oh, wow.
It's a hat trick for Jack. His 3rd touchdown. And once again, it's a 3-point game.
The blocking is just perfect all the way to the end zone as he just follows the blocks to the offensive line off that right-hand side. And then Logan Jack does the rest all the way to the end zone. And you wonder where his total is for the night. There you are. 165 off of 22 carries and 3rd touchdown of the evening as he is helping his team stay in this ball game here tonight.
Well, last week, Nate, I called the Los Angeles victory over Indianapolis, and we said that Logan Jack's performance in that game was a season-defining performance for him.
Yes.
He only had 146 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Right.
He surpassed both of those marks tonight.
Yep. What do you call this then, if you call that a season-defining game?
Maybe a career-defining game for Logan Jack. He has been on it.
Absolutely.
Came into the game with 1,001 rushing yards on the season. And at the beginning of next season, he's not going to have a lot to do to surpass 10,000 career rushing yards, currently sitting at 9,400.
Wow.
Now Seattle just up by 3
Uh-oh.
to Scott, and she goes nowhere. Spearaw led Robert Thump to make the tackle. We've got Cameron Irvine at SFL Studios. Portland and Vancouver playing a coast game over there. Tell us about it.
Rex Cirillo, it has now gone final, and Christian Brown on this night throws 7 interceptions. Vancouver fails to score a touchdown. Portland sweeps the division and Vancouver, but the Legion going to the playoffs. They'll start on the road in the wild card, fall to 7-5. Back to you in Seattle.
Now, an important game for Vancouver to win for playoff positioning they do not get. And how about the great season for Portland? Yes, their overall record was not great, but man, they owned this division, and it was really just their games against other teams in the SFL is the only reason they're not going playoff hunting this season.
Yeah, a tough season for Portland, as Cam stated, sweeping the division, but just not getting the other wins that they needed across the SFL.
3rd and 4, Blue Scott, no! Wrapped up from behind and dropped by Blackwell.
Yeah, not getting the first down there, but to finish that thought, just Portland not getting the wins they needed to make it to the playoffs, and they'll start their offseason early.
But again, another team in this Pacific Division, like Seattle, that's trajectory is just going up over the past couple of seasons. I would expect Portland to be competitive next season as Seattle and LA as well.
Oh, absolutely. Both these teams are in good shape.
Another punt from Butte, and that 3 and out gives Los Angeles 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning and 2:37 to potentially take the lead here in a game. At one point they were down 17-0.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been because of Logan Jack. I mean, I really have to say, yeah, we sprinkled in some passes there. Solly's 11 of 21 for 118, but if it wasn't for Logan Jack,
Look out.
Yes.
Richardson going down, and they're going to go up tempo here, 2:30.
My point exactly.
They lost 6 yards on the play. This is a really slow developing play, but it's caught. They got 17 yards when they needed 16. Shea Carroll with the catch.
Well, there you go. Shea Carroll comes up with his second catch of the evening as he gets a good corner. Oh, good, nice crossing route. Defense was confused, couldn't get there on the coverage until it was too late. Amar Bryant Jr., who had the interception earlier in the half, couldn't get there in time, and LA gets the first down.
It's one of my favorite things to watch wide receivers shoot down the field, that late scissors action that just crosses up defenders like there's no tomorrow. 2-minute warning here. Los Angeles down by 3, 27-24. Both teams trying to get the 4 wins on the season and end their season on a high note. This is already a high watermark for Seattle. They're going to finish with their best record in franchise history with 3, maybe 4 wins. Of course, this is only season 2 for the Seattle Nemesis. Finished 1-11 in season 19. The Los Angeles Lycans' best record of all time in franchise history is 8-4. They did it 3 times, all as the Chicago Wildcats. Their best record since moving to LA and becoming the Lycans is 7-5 in season 17. Logan Jack lost 3 yards, 3rd down and 4, up tempo again. Richardson wafting it up, and oh, it's incomplete.
Looking for a flag, but that was just good defense. Well-timed hit by Seattle's secondary. Big 4th down coming up. They need this one to keep this game alive.
Do they go for it here with 3 timeouts, though?
I think they have to.
They are going for it. 4th and 4. Got to get to the Seattle 48 for a first down. They're going to throw the ball. Richardson short. First down. What a clutch play. Jack Flash on the stop route. Now Richardson looking for the knockout blow. It's tipped and intercepted. The only one getting knocked out is the Lycans. Brady Clark. Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. That ball just floated right into his lap.
Yikes. This game's still not over yet as LA still has all 3 timeouts. So as long as they can hold Seattle to not getting a first down, they still have a chance to get the ball back. However, they do need a stop, and that Seattle interception did hurt a lot.
Well, they do get Baloo Scott on first down and called it first timeout. You know what that play kind of looked like and it reminded me of? Do you remember back when Cam Newton was at Auburn, there was a game in their national championship season where they played Georgia, and there was a Hail Mary pass deep down the field last play of the game that was deflected and ended up being caught in a kind of crazy way? That reminded me of that, just an interception, not a touchdown, because the ball just kind of bounced to the safety, and he wasn't even paying attention.
Yep. the Bengals had a game like that too when against the Ravens when Carson Palmer was quarterback and Ochocinco was the receiver. It was a Hail Mary pass, and the defender went up, batted up in the air. Ochocinco was waiting on it in the end zone.
3rd and 13. A first down ends the game. They're going to go for it. Blanton steps up in the pocket, throws deep. It's caught! First down, game over. David Gears with the catch to seal the coffin shut.
A valiant effort by LA here in the second half, but they are going to come up on the short end of the stick here tonight as David Gears comes up with the biggest catch of his 5 reception evening here this evening. I'm sorry, 6 receptions here for 77 yards, but none bigger than that one right here to seal the victory for Seattle. And a nice win here to cap off a season that'll see the Nemesis with 4 wins, 3 better than their 1-win season in their inaugural season last season.
About the wide receivers for Seattle stepping up tonight. Zachary Patton, 100 yards on 10 catches. David Gears, 77 on 6. T. Queen, only 2 receptions, but both went for touchdowns. And Gus Scott also had a touchdown and 29 yards receiving. Paulie Truth, 45 yards. I mean, it was a fantastic day for the wide receiver core for Seattle.
Absolutely.
One last kneel down, and the Seattle Nemesis gets to 4 wins on the year. They beat LA once in week 4, Jacksonville in week 6. They got a huge upset over Tulsa in week 12, and now they sweep LA here in week 14.
Good game by all of those involved. LA, like I said, just came out a little bit on the short end of the stick tonight. Valiant effort by Logan Jack here tonight. Just amazing effort by him. Over 160 yards rushing. 3 touchdowns by that young man here this evening to try to help his team come back into a victory. Just came up a little bit short. Solly did his best to try to help his team where he could. However, his interceptions just were too much of a big obstacle, too much of a hurdle to overcome in the end. And that last one on the last drive of the game is what really hurt them at the very end of the night to seal the victory.
Logan Jack was one of the best losing performances in the SFL this season.
Absolutely.
171 yards on 24 carries and 3 touchdowns. There was one of the drives where he had all 82 yards by himself. He tried to pull this LA team to a victory tonight, and it almost worked.
Almost worked, yeah. I mean, most valuable player for a losing effort in my book, as far as players go when you don't win. But you just can't say enough about the Seattle team. They're on the uphill swing for sure. Getting more wins for sure at the 4-win mark this season, which is better win percentage than they had last season. LA will be back, I'm sure, next season, and once they get a little bit of an off season going for themselves and their squad, they'll be right back in the season 21.
Player of the game, Trellis Blanton, although I have a half mind to give it to Zachary Patton with his 100 receiving yards on 10 catches. Don't forget to come back tomorrow. 6 games on the SFL network on YouTube and Next Level Sports beginning at 1 p.m. Canton, London, Motor City, Queen City, Houston, Alamo City, Las Vegas, Arizona, Jacksonville, Louisiana, Denver, and San Diego. And then we'll have the scenario show after that. And then Sunday, Minnesota, Sioux Falls, Charleston, Carolina, Tulsa, Indianapolis, and then Monday, Fort Worth, Mexico City. A lot on the line for basically every team I just listed there. Playoff positioning out the wazoo. We still don't know who's going to be in the playoffs yet, much less who they are playing. We're all going to find that out over the next 2 days. For Ramos Lynn and Mike Daggs on stats, Cameron Irvine, our broadcast director extraordinaire, Nate Hall was with me in the broadcast booth for a doubleheader tonight. My name is Michael Trillo. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more SFL action.